This might be the best kept secret community located on the Sandusky Bay in Ohio. Walkable streets, the golf cart vibes, waterfront properties, all of that tucked into a very small, tight-knit community. Well, this best kept secret community is Bayview, Ohio, and that's what we're going to talk about today. Welcome to my channel. I'm Adam Williams with the night team at Keller Williams Citywide, your local real estate guide to living along the northern shores of Lake Erie here in Ohio. On this channel, I talk about everything from Port Clinton all the way through Vermilion. That's the areas that I cover. And the goal is really to keep you well informed as to what it's like to live here, the cost of living, housing, affordability, and all of that, so that you can make a good decision whether you're buying or selling in real estate in this area. Here's what we're going to cover in today's video. First, what does Bayview feel like on a day-to-day basis? Second, the lifestyle and things to do. Third, the home styles. What are the homes like? Number 4, a quick real estate snapshot of the current market. Number 5, who is Bayview a good fit for? And number 6, a common misconception that I hear and the truth behind it. So stay tuned until the end of the video to hear about that. So let's get right into it. First thing is, what does Bayview feel like on a day-to-day basis? In order to understand the lifestyle and what it feels like, the overall vibe here, I think it's important to understand where Bayview is located and along the northern shore in vacation land. Bayview is very tucked away. It's not talked about very often because it is so small, but it is its own thing. And that's something I didn't even realize for the longest time. And I grew up here. Bayview is very quiet and it's not talked about very much. However, it's so beautiful. It's tucked away on this little point here that sticks out into the Sandusky Bay. It's absolutely beautiful. It's located right in between Marblehead and Catawba Island, all the way over to Sandusky. It's right in between those two cities. So Bayview is so quiet. It's such a small area. Ironically, it only has 625 people is what the estimate is for the population of Bayview. And you might be wondering, why are you even doing a video on it? Because it's so unique. It's one of the most unique little towns I've ever seen. And I think it's beautiful. So what's it like on a day-to-day basis? I can't stress how quiet it is here. Imagine waking up in the morning, a very quiet morning. You got people driving by on golf carts. Your neighbors probably wave to you and say hi. And it's got that charm. It's almost picturesque. It's something you would see in a Hallmark type of movie. And I kind of like that. And that's why this is so unique. And really, you feel almost like you're on an island. You're not on an island, but it kind of feels that way because it sticks out into the bay. And on 3 sides, you have water. So it's this very unique feel, and that's why that's the first part of this video. Is it's got the most unique feel of any community that I've been to and that I serve in this area. Location is what this is all about. So you're about 10 minutes to downtown Sandusky. You're about 5 minutes to certain restaurants on the west side of town as well. You're about 20 minutes to Port Clinton. You're right across the bridge from Catawba Island and Marblehead. And then you're probably about 15 minutes, give or take, depending on traffic, from Cedar Point, which is really awesome. It's small town, peaceful charm with big time access to all of the surrounding communities. What is there to do in Bayview? Well, to be honest, there's not a whole lot to do inside of Bayview itself, other than relaxing, enjoying the nature, enjoying the waterfront and the quiet mornings, riding your golf cart around in the town. There's also things like fishing, boating. You do have boat access. There is a marina and public access as well. Tons of fishing spots that you can do right along because you're on the water. So there's a lot of little fishing spots. There's a certain bridge you can go to and fish off of that as well, right in the area to fish the Sandusky Bay. So there are things like that to do. Birdwatching is a big thing here in Bayview as well. So if you like bird watching, this might be a good fit for you. You can walk the shoreline, enjoy biking, obviously kayaking too in Sandusky Bay. Sandusky Bay, if you're not familiar with it in this specific area, it stays pretty calm. Lake Erie is known for getting very violent at times even. The weather can change very quickly. The Sandusky Bay is kind of protected. So I've seen waves being very, you see white caps out there on the lake, but then inland here where the Sandusky Bay is very calm. So I've seen people still kayaking even when it's pretty windy out there. So when it comes to things to do in Bayview, there's, again, not a whole lot. What you're going to find if you want entertainment, you're going to have to drive to the neighboring cities. But again, this location's great because you're so close to it. You're 15 minutes from Cedar Point. You're like 10 minutes from downtown Sandusky. You have different vineyards, wineries, things like that over in Catawba Island, access to Put-in Bay. And there's so many things you can do in the surrounding communities while you're isolated at your home on Bayview. There is a local favorite restaurant right here in Bayview. It's called the Baybell restaurant. So if you're ever in the area, definitely check that out too. All right, let's move into the real estate market snapshot. This is an interesting one. Again, there's only 625 estimated people who live in Bayview. Therefore, the housing market's really small. There's not a ton of homes in Bayview. Actually, at the time of making this video, there are only 2 homes for sale in all of Bayview. So when it comes to the numbers, it's hard to really tell what the current market is because it's so small. There's not a big sample size. So things like your average price point, days on market, all those little stats we love to talk about as realtors, it's hard to narrow that down in this specific community. But I'll do my best here. What you're going to see is when things do go live, when homes go for sale here in this area, they don't last long if they're priced right because it's very scarce when there's no inventory because it's such a small area. So when people want to live there and they see something come that's in their budget, they're going to grab it pretty quick. So that's one thing to keep in mind. The current home value, the median home value. Now, it's important to notice value and the actual home median sales price. Those are 2 different things. Home value is just an estimate. Home sales prices are what people have been paying. We don't have a lot of data to show what people have been paying that I could do an average of that at this current point, because here's why. The average home value right now is about $185,000 is what the estimated value. However, the 2 homes that are for sale right now are around $400,000 each. So that kind of shows you it really depends on the home itself. Obviously, if you're on the water, because Bayview, it kind of sticks out like a peninsula, so to speak, with 3 sides that have waterfront. If you're on one of those homes right on the water, yeah, your price is going to be premium on that. Even if you're across the street from that, it's still going to be higher versus when you get inland a little bit more towards that Central Park area. So when you think about that $400,000, it depends on where exactly that home is for sale in Bayview. All right, let's talk about the house types. What type of homes are you going to see here? You're going to see small cottages, mid-century lake homes, renovated year-round residences, and then there are the occasional new construction. There's very few lots available in Bayview. It's pretty built out. It's a very small piece of land, and then it's pretty developed already, so there's not a whole lot of new construction. But because it's a smaller community, your prices vary more block by block than neighborhood by neighborhood. Again, as I said before, depends on where you're located on this little peninsula. So your lot size, your view, the updates, all of that matters for this home to dictate what the price is going to be in this very small community. So on a fun note, when you're actually a listing agent here, finding comparables to decide how much this home is actually going to be worth can be a little bit tricky. So who does Bayview tend to fit? Now look, this isn't a good or bad conversation. It's a fit conversation. Is this a good fit for you or is it not? So Bayview might be a match if you want quiet mornings and easy water access. If you like being close to Sandusky and Port Clinton, Catawba Island, without living in the busier areas. If you prefer a golf cart friendly, walkable village style, this is a good fit for you. If you want small town charm, but still like being close to restaurants, marinas, ferries, and events, this is a good fit for you. It is not a good fit for you if you want a large, busy commercial district, if you prefer bigger suburban developments, or if you need a lot of new construction, because again, there's not a lot of new construction in Bayview. Or if you don't want to commute to work. That's one thing I'll add to this as well. There's not going to be a lot of jobs located right there in Bayview, so you're going to have to drive the 15 minutes to Sandusky, or maybe it's over in Catawba. So you're going to have to think about that depending on what you do for work. So here's the big objection that I often hear about Bayview in cities like this. It's just too small. Will I get bored? And so here's the reality of it. You're not just choosing Bayview when you live here, you're choosing the entire Sandusky Bay region. And I think that's important to note, that Bayview, yes, the actual little village of Bayview is tiny, it's small, and if you only stay there, yeah, you're gonna get bored. If you go 10-15 minutes down the road, you won't be bored, because then you can go to Cedar Point, you can go to downtown Sandusky, and everything we've talked about here. Just remember, location is king. That's what this is all about. The vacation land lifestyle here allows you to live by the water and have access to all of these different areas. This is a common theme in many of these little cities that we talk about. The exception to that, I think, is living actually in Sandusky. You're very close to all of the attractions and all the entertainment when you live in Sandusky, but you're going to sacrifice that quiet charm to some extent. It's still a nice, awesome place to live. I love Sandusky, but it is not as nearly as quiet as Bayview. So I hope that makes sense, that Bayview, it's a peaceful home base, but it's not your entire world. So if you're looking to buy or sell in the next 6 months, tomorrow, next year, whatever that is, let's have a conversation. My contact information is in the description below. I would love to be your guide, just a resource for you, answer any questions you have about this area, and really help you make the right decision for you and your family as to where you should live along the northern shore of Ohio. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe to my channel so you can stay informed for when we put out new content, and we'll see you in the next one.